This is The Big Question with Dr. Ellie Gonzalez, brought to you by Good News Unlimited, tackling the big questions in a simple and positive way.
The big question is, did Christians invent the book? Well, they didn't really invent it, but they were instrumental in the development of the book as we know it. I mean, with pages and covers and so on.
The first books were actually just scratches on a big stone. Then some smart person discovered that clay tablets were easier to write on than stone. Imagine being a school kid and having to lump several clay tablets, basically bricks, around in your backpack to and from school. Those were your school books. The next big development in books were scrolls. Scrolls were made from the papyrus reeds that grew in Egypt. The downside to papyrus was that it was expensive. Also, let's say that you were reading at the end of a scroll, holding it in your hands, and you wanted to refer to something at the beginning. It was really annoying to have to roll it and unroll it all. Shortly after the time of Jesus, parchment from animal skins also began to be used for writing, but still, they had to roll it up into a scroll. Then somebody, and we don't know who, had the bright idea to cut up sheets of parchment into rectangles and stack them together flat and bind them on one side with a hinge. And suddenly, you had the first codex, which is the technical name for a book as we know it today. Codices rapidly overtook scrolls as the best way of writing things down for posterity. They lasted longer, they were easier to read, and they were easier to transport and store. But there are also religious reasons that the book as we know it, the Codex, became the preferred way of writing. And it's no coincidence that the rise of the Codex happened at the same time as the rise of Christianity, and that Christianity's uptake of this form of book was unprecedented. You see, Christianity was a religion that gave huge importance to the written word. The Christian religion promoted and fostered literacy, and it always has, and it needed an economical way to spread its writings, and codices were much more economical and easier to transport than scrolls. And of course, at a time when Christians were being persecuted for their faith, it was a lot easier to hide a copy of the scriptures under your robes if it was a smaller codex than if it was a scroll.
So that's why some people say that Christians invented the book. Books, cheap and easy to carry, promoted literacy, and literacy promoted knowledge. And knowledge led to the scientific and industrial revolutions, which all contributed to the world as we know it today.
For more, contact goodnewsunlimited.com.